Today, for many people around the world, the credit card is the most common form of payment they use on a daily basis. And of course, we all know now how dangerous these cards can be in terms of racking up debt, but it turns out that there is a whole other side of credit cards that might be costing you a lot more than you realized. Now, people have been spending money they don't have pretty well since we invented money. We have 5,000-year-old Mesopotamian tablets detailing agreements to buy something now and pay for it later. This is a dangerous game that for some reasons humans just can't stop playing. Just like the sponsor for today's video, World of Tanks. Could you imagine if we did a World of Tanks sponsorship? I mean, if you ever see that on FutureProof, just know that we took an absolute boatload of money to do it. You gotta get that bag, you know? Now, if you fast forward to today, borrowing money is no longer just something you do out of desperation or to start a business or something. In the last 100 years, the credit system has evolved to such a degree, it's almost a modern necessity. But most people who use them have very little understanding of how they actually work. Now, first of all, let's look over some of the potential benefits of a credit card because it's not all black and white. A credit card can enable a savvy user to earn rewards, build their credit score, and spend easily online or on the go. It offers more fraud protection than a debit card, and it is more secure than carrying around a briefcase full of cash like you're in Breaking Bad.
You're goddamn right.
Theoretically, a responsible credit card holder could actually make money by spending on a well-chosen card.
7 million.
But of course, that is not the majority of credit card users. We are all familiar with the debt horror stories at this point. We all know that credit cards pose a serious risk of trapping you in never-ending interest payments that your grandkids will be paying off until they die.
'Cause I have $30,000 in credit card debt. When they call, I tell them I can't pay it back yet.
But thankfully, we seem to be learning from our mistakes. Forbes reports that the average credit card debt per person has gone down recently, so that's encouraging. But here's the thing, even if you manage to dodge the crippling debt and pay off your monthly card every single time, there are so many other ways that these companies are manipulating you for a profit, starting with those rewards. Now, credit card rewards just sounds awesome, right? I mean, you're spending money anyway. Why would you not just get a little something in return? After all, you're a responsible, pay your debts off on time kind of person. Why not rip off the usurious sleazebags taking a profit off of everybody else? Usurious is not my word. That is a word from our writer, Holly. So thanks, Holly. You're an old lady and I love you. I mean, the draw is so real. Americans on average hold 4 different credit cards just to capitalize on the rewards programs. But of course, that is not the average American. There is a whole subculture of people devoted to finding out these hacks and tricks to manipulate the system. Now, I don't even know how many people are out here like this, but there is people like the Points guy who literally make a living talking about this stuff. And of course, people with like Pokemon collector card folders full of credit cards are the outliers in the data. These are just a bunch of really nerdy people who've decided to spend their time thinking about credit cards all day.
I'll chop your credit card in half. How about that?
And the rest of us, normal people, have real interests like sports teams, stuffed animals, and their favorite YouTube channels. Now, for us normal, well-adjusted, future-proof subscribers, the points on a single credit card aren't really going to improve your life that much. But you wouldn't know that because the companies who designed them have made these cards deliberately vague with a buttload of fine print so that you don't know what's going on. Now, I'm going to pick on the American Express Gold card here for a minute. It is CNBC's top-rated rewards card for the average American consumer, one that a lot of you are probably familiar with. And it represents one of the best case scenarios for a rewards card. So let's get into it. Like virtually every other rewards card, it uses a point system that doesn't easily translate into dollars. So $1 spent almost always translates to some massive number of points, which they seem to assign randomly. And then they get to change how much value the points are worth depending on what you buy to complicate things further. For example, on their website, you get 4 times the points for restaurants and groceries, but only 3 times for flights that they have specific agreements with. And we're gonna get to that in a minute. So why do they use the points system if it's so complicated, Levi? Well, this gives the company a few benefits. It allows them to be flexible with the value. They can literally adjust the value of these points as they go without you even knowing, which is all the easier because you really didn't know how they worked in the first place. They're then able to make bold claims about how many tens of thousands of points you can make by using their cards without anyone actually knowing what that means.
What is this?
Now, at least Amex provides a handy breakdown if you know where to look for it. Some companies don't even do that, but let's just take a look here. It is a full page of boring technical details that you'd need a credit card nerd degree to understand. And as we mentioned, this point system can range a lot. 1 point could be worth as little as half a cent depending on where you spend it. So that 60,000 points you earned by spending $4,000 in 6 months might actually just be worth about $300, which is just a tiny bit more than the $250 annual fee. Now you're sitting there thinking, hey, listen, I'm spending the $4,000 anyway. That's a nifty little 50 in my pocket. What's the big deal? And also, what's that f***ing accent? But you have to ask yourself, do accents really matter? And were you going to spend that $4,000 anyway? Remember, nothing is truly free. Amex is not giving you 60,000 points out of the goodness of their hearts. They're making money off of you. It's interesting to note that Amex is specifically looking for clients with good or excellent credit scores, as in clients who pay their bills, as in clients that don't make any money for them off of interest. That means that if they're not making money off of you in one way, they're making money off of you in another way.
Is the potato here? Oh, this trick's a real lemon.
And specifically in this case, off of partnerships with specific businesses. According to one estimate, people spend 15% more with a rewards card than they would with cash. And credit card companies know this. Now, a good way to know if a credit card is being sleazy is when they partner with a specific company or service for a card. Like the fact that Amex gives you Uber Cash with your gold card. This may sound great, but as we have discussed in earlier videos, Uber Eats is a huge ripoff for you and literally everyone else involved. Today, there is a credit card for almost everything out there, and the only reason that it exists is to get you to buy more of that particular thing on a credit card, which is great for Visa and Hello Kitty, but rarely for you. Now, the Hello Kitty thing is, yes, a bit funny, but there is a lot of these things, and the way that they get you to buy stuff that you don't need is impressive. These store or brand-based cards often offer deals, but only if you meet certain requirements. And of course, those requirements largely center around buying more stuff. Gap, for example, offers cardholders free shipping as long as they spend at least $50. You might also see deals like spend $150 and get 15% off your order. But you have to ask yourself, are you actually saving money at that point, or did you just go on a totally unnecessary shopping spree just to feel like you saved 15% off? Another huge factor here is that these cards also encourage you, or rather limit you, to shopping at just one location, disabling you from shopping around to find the best deals. In short, rewards cards shape the way that you spend your money, and almost never in a good way. Some financial experts recommend to just not have a credit card at all for these reasons. Now, we're not financial experts here, and this is not an individual financial advice, of course, but we think that if you're going to use a card, you might want to be careful about what rewards you buy into and make sure that it really matches your lifestyle. But here's the crazy thing. Beyond the points and the rewards and whatever, that's not even the only way that credit cards are making their dollar bills. This stuff actually grinds my gears. You could be the perfect card holder with a carefully selected no fees card you pay off monthly, and you might have divine willpower that enables you to resist all the psychological wizardry that these corporations throw at you to get you to buy more, and yet they will still win by f***ing over small businesses. See, while they scrape and glean money off of your shopping spree, they're also taking a cut from the store that sells the clothing too, or candles, or macrame decorations. I don't know what you're buying. That's right, stores pay for the right, nay, the privilege of offering card options to their customers. So every time that you swipe that card, you're costing the merchant somewhere around 1 to 3% of the purchase, plus a flat fee per transaction. Oh, God. Now, how much they have to spend depends largely on the card that you use, and reward cards are most likely to be charging the most. American Express, incidentally, has the highest average merchant fees, and this is why you'll see a lot of shops straight up saying that they don't accept those cards. It ends up being costly enough for small businesses that some of them decide to opt out of credit card payments entirely, even though it would mean losing a huge chunk of potential customers. Even Walmart a few years back was so ticked by merchant fees that they stopped accepting Visa in some Canadian stores until Visa struck a deal with them. You do have to love it when the corporate overlords are going for a smackdown with each other. And of course, you can bet that this translates into higher prices for you as a customer as businesses try to make up for the loss. They're literally the middleman that has somehow wormed their way into every single deal that we make. But there's yet another layer here. Oh yeah, we're doing full Shrek mode here. It's a onion.
They stink?
Yes. No.
Oh, they make you cry?
No.
Oh, you leave them out in the sun, they get all brown, start sprouting little white hairs.
No. Layers.
Accepting credit cards is actually a huge liability for businesses too. Apparently, banks will sometimes hold merchants responsible for fraud cases. So if somebody steals your card, goes on an insane shopping spree buying a bunch of Hello Kitty crap, when you call the bank to deal with things, that might mean that they're going to go back to the Hello Kitty store to force them to pay back the exorbitant amounts from the stolen goods. Now, of course, maybe you're looking at this and you're saying, hey, this isn't that big of a deal when you compare it to all the terrible corporations doing awful stuff just trying to make money. All you would need to do is subscribe to this channel if you wanted to see more of that. And I couldn't care less about Walmart losing money to Visas. But Walmart isn't the main victim here, but rather the people like the ma and pa shops down the road that are just trying to sell you handcrafted knitwear or locally roasted coffee. Local business owners are some of the only people standing in the way of impersonal, profit-driven monoliths like Amazon and Walmart from completely dominating every aspect of our life. And Visa has just become an enforcer with their foot on the necks of those small businesses. On this channel, we're always telling you to support small businesses, but now we've got to add the disclaimer that you can't use the most modern and convenient form of payment to do it. So support with cash or at least debit when you do, but know that this inconvenience is also something that the credit card industry has ensured as well. Credit cards have somehow become a necessary evil. There are technically ways that you can build a credit score without one, but everyone knows that responsible credit card use is the fastest and easiest way to lower interest payments on that mortgage you hope to get one day, which is just such a messed up thing to think about. Like, you have to deliberately go into debt to prove that you can get out of debt again. Now, there wasn't anything explicitly online that proved that credit card companies had some hand in making this societal reality a thing, but it does seem a little too convenient if you ask me.
That's suspicious.
Now, if anyone has information on this, please share it in the comments or on our Reddit community, where we discuss and share all kinds of related content to this channel. But a quick recap before you go, because the sad reality is you're probably gonna need a credit card still today in this modern world, and there are better and worse ones out there. Look for a reward card that actually earns points on things you're going to buy, like groceries and gasoline. Cash back is often a safer bet, but you always have to be careful about hefty and unnecessary annual fees. Look out for points that expire, points that are difficult to redeem. Your millions of points are worthless if there's no flights available when you want them. And rewards that are capped at a certain amount, or offers that expire if you miss a payment. Thank you so much for joining us. If you liked this video, literally like it. And if you subscribe, we'll see you in the next one.